All right, here we are on the Harbor Walk with Sally Goldenbaum.
This is beautiful.
I know we got the seagulls for background music. We got. I mean, really, the space here is this is a perfect place to do an interview, don't you think?
It's perfect. Cruise ships coming in, tourists all over town.
Yeah, we've been stopped a couple of times. People asking what's happening, and we gave them good suggestions, didn't we?
That's right. We gave them great suggestions.
Well, there's a lot to do here. So your new book is out.
It is.
This is our third interview.
It is.
Third
It's
book,
our
third interview in the series.
Yes, a fatal fleece.
Yeah.
And this is a picture of Gloucester right there.
Very cool. All your books are kind of based off of the Seaside Knitted series. It's set on Cape Ann and has a lot of local references, isn't that right?
That's right. It's a fictitious town called Sea Harbor, but the Sea Harbor is built on Gloucester, really, and Rockport and other places too, but primarily Gloucester. I have a little restaurant called Sweet Petunia, and you can guess what that's based on, Sugar Mags. I have an art colony called Canary Cove, and it's based, of course, it's the little sister of Rocky Neck, and I've spent a lot of time on Rocky Neck, so the flavor of it, I hope, is the same flavor that we find in Rocky Neck. I've got a tea shop, I've got jewelry stores based on Gloucester.
Isn't there a breakwater?
There's a breakwater. I've spent hours on that breakwater because I had to have someone die by falling off of it, and I wanted to make sure it was all legitimate. So the very first book, Death by Kashmir, finds a dead body off the breakwater.
So now you have this has to be pretty popular because you signed a contract and you've actually renewed. You had a contract for 3 books, and now they renewed you for another 2 books.
Right. Actually, I had a 3-book and then another 3 books, and this is the 6th book. So the last book and the second 3-book, and now I'm working on a 2-book contract. One of those books is finished, and the second one is kind of up here. I hope on this trip I'll be able to flesh it out and find a good place to kill somebody.
Yikes! You're not messing around. But you don't live in Gloucester, but you have a connection to Gloucester. What is where you live in Kansas, right?
I live in Kansas. Not too many oceans around there. And writing this series and setting it here, first of all, is absolutely wonderful because it's an area I dearly love. But my connection is my family. My daughter and her husband and their 2 amazing children live here in Gloucester. So my husband and I spend as much time as we possibly can here. And we walk the city, and we walk the harbor, and we walk Niles Beach, and we walk the harbor beach. In fact, the next book that I just finished was the idea for it came up from a trip we made here last fall. We were walking along Niles Beach and we saw an empty infant car seat. The next day we walked Niles Beach and it was still there. The 3rd day it was still there, but there were no babies. We searched the beach and we couldn't find a baby. And the 4th day, and it became a haunting experience. The 4th day, there was a nor'easter that night, and it had kicked it across the road, and it was just full of debris. And then the 5th day, it was gone. Well, I couldn't get that image out of my mind, so I wrote it into a scene about a woman running along Niles Beach, and she kept seeing this car seat. And finally, on the last day, she throws it into the trunk of her car so she can forget about it. I sent it to my editor. I had no murder, no mystery, nothing. I just had the scene. And she loved it. So that left, and they signed a contract for a book based on that scene.
Jeez, huh?
And that's Angora Alibi, which took me a long time to fit a car seat into a murder mystery.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Now, Fleece, I know a lot of your books have to do with like knitting and stuff like that. Now, do people like that are knitters, do they have this animosity towards Fleece? Because it's like this whole kind of new material that's coming and taking over from the traditional yarn?
That was kind of tricky. The publishers want to use a yarn or a yarn derivative in the titles, and they came up with a fatal fleece. Fleece is actually the raw wool that's pulled. So it's not a fleece like North Face.
Gotcha.
Fleece. But then I have to work that into the book. So I had to have a knitter use fleece that was then made into yarn to knit a fleece for an old fisherman. And he dies wearing the fleece.
Don't give everything away, Sal.
Oh, that's right.
Don't give everything away. Come on now. Well, so the book it's out right now?
It's out right now. It came out in May. And I'm doing a little talk on a fatal fleece at the Gloucester Library Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Would love to see anyone who's free that night. Would love to have you come out and talk about a fatal fleece with me, and maybe give me ideas for the 8th book in the Seaside Knitters Mystery Series.
I love how you weave all the community into all your stories. It's very cool. Very, very cool. So, where can people buy the book?
The book you can get anywhere. Any bookstore. I'm sure the bookstore here in Gloucester has it. You can get it online. You can get it in the big bookstores. But support your local bookstore.
There you go. We like that. Yeah. That's very nice. All right, Sally, you'll be giving the talk. It's Thursday night again.
Thursday night,
You also
7 o'clock.
You also have a website?
I do, SallyGoldenbaum.com. That will give you more information about the book. There's a knitting pattern in the back of each book, so if you are a knitter, it's there. If you're not a knitter, I think you'll enjoy the books anyway. They don't teach you how to knit. They just weave the luscious part about knitting into the book and into the story of women's friendship.
Sally, thanks so much for coming down.
Thank you, Joey. You are quite wonderful.
Have a great day.